Happy full moon in Aries, everyone. I just want to come on here real quick to encourage you to really look within this full moon. Full moons just really help us release. It's like a big light that beams on everything that is no longer serving us, that is not helping us in our expansion. And I just really want you to ask yourself, like, what is holding you back? What is it that you need to release? What is it that you can't hold on to anymore? Maybe it's habits, maybe it's friendships, relationships, or just the way you show up in those relationships. The way you show up for yourself maybe isn't working anymore, and it's just, looking at it with very loving eyes of just like, what truly is it time to really let go of so I can elevate, so I can move forward, so I can be a better me. And I do want to share for myself is I've been reflecting on like, what is holding me back? What's going on? Why can't I take more bold action, let's say? And I realized like how limited I feel in a lot of ways. But then when I look even further into that, I was sitting in meditation and I was asking myself like, okay, I feel very limited. I feel limited. Why? And I was shown like how much I'm attached to fear. And what I was shown is also like this ball, it's not even a ball, it looked like a big knot, this big ball of knots. And it was black and it looked really heavy and dense and almost like a tumor or something. I don't know how to describe it, but it looked really just heavy, really intense. And I saw that I was connected to that. But not only that, like my family members, like my parents and my siblings were also connected to this. And it was just showing me like how we were all like almost born in fear. Like fear was the center of our world, the center of our creation. And they were showing me that even when I was in my mom's belly, like she felt so much fear about like having me because she already felt very overwhelmed with life, and she was like a third child, how am I gonna be able to do that? So she had a lot of fear. And then once I was born, it was just like my parents just operated on fear of not having enough, fear of losing money, fear of losing their home, fear of not being able to give us what we needed to not only like survive, but to thrive. Like everything, every decision they've ever made was based off of fear. And it almost showed me like that fear became a part of me. It's almost like it became part of my DNA, like I am fear in a sense. So I've been carrying that since I was a kid, and it's not even just mine, it's like my parents that gave it to me, but their parents gave it to them, and it's like a whole generational thing of fear, of like, fear's just at the forefront of everything that they do, because they always felt like they lacked everything, lacked freedom, lacked choices, lacked food, security, safety, all of that. And now they were showing me like how much I operate off of fear. Even when I try to share, even when I post these events where I'm trying to bring people together, it's like a lot of it's based off of fear. Like, will people show up? Like I have a fear of like no one showing up to the things that I host, or a fear of not being good enough. Obviously we all have that one, but it's like, what is the fear? It's like the fear is that I show myself and like, this is what I do, this is what I love doing, and people being like, ooh, I don't like that. That wasn't good enough. You're not a real healer. You're not a real spiritual person. I don't know. It's a fear of that. So a lot of my decisions were based off of fear of like, oh my gosh, are people gonna like this? Are they gonna be okay with this? Are they gonna accept this? Instead of like me doing things because I love it, because it brings me joy and excitement and expansion, and it just feels good to me, right? So for me, it's like I need to let go of that fear that was almost like at the head of the table, was the captain of my ship, that was making all the decisions for me. And I had to like say goodbye to that and say, hey, I don't need you anymore. I get it. I understand why you were there. It's like showing it love as if it's its own person or its own like entity. And it's like, fear, I see you. I get it. I understand where I came from. I understand why my parents were holding on to so much fear. I understand why there was so much fear in my household, within my siblings, and for me. Like we all contribute more fear into each other. We weren't anchored in love and showing each other that loving support and unconditional love and acceptance fully of each other, because we weren't doing it for ourselves either. Like it can go really deep, and I don't want to talk forever, but the point is I encourage you to kind of look within yourself and ask, like, what am I being encouraged to release this full moon? And don't be afraid to really look at yourself and to explore and discover, you know, hidden parts of yourself that maybe you were running away from for so long. It really is the time. Like, this is the time where we're getting really encouraged to just let it go, move on, say your piece with your past, you know, send it off with love, and accept the new incredible energy and opportunities that are already coming our way. But you won't be able to accept all these new opportunities, all this new energy, all of this love if you don't release, you know, the old energy, the fear. Let's remove all of that so you can have more space for love, truly. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for listening, and I wish you the best for this new chapter moving forward. Happy full moon.